Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep.
Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
I thought CJ got open, got a clean look at it. Just didn't go down.
Overall, the fight your group showed, especially the second half, JV seemed to get everything started, and then Jose just cruised.
Yeah. I mean, this game comes down to the tale of two halves. That's what I told our group. First half, that wasn't us. Even if we get down some points, which happens, I just didn't like our energy and the spirit. And so, to their credit, in the second half, we came out with a much better effort. And once we decided that we were going to try to take care of our home floor, we were right back in the game with a chance to win it.
It's just Jose's ability to finish at the basket for a smaller guard, just how impressive that, not just in this game, but the season.
Extremely impressive. And it's good to see Jose have a bounce back game from Miami. But his spirit, his energy, his force in the second half ignited our team. And when he touches the floor, that's what he has to do for us.
Any updates so far on accident?
Sprained ankle, but besides that, no further updates. Sprained ankle. It's kind of by default, but we like the fact that putting big bodies on Aaron Gordon, keeping him off the glass, trying to take away some of his post-up opportunities. But they're a good team, and they find a way to get it done.
It feels like a few times this year about being able to play the whole 48 or starting with energy.
Yeah.
How do you, as a coach, kind of try to make sure that they start doing that a little bit more?
We keep discussing it. We keep watching film. We continue to have a high level of preparation. And these moments throughout the course of the year, they happen where you have injuries and other guys have to step up. And you'll go, every team goes through a period where you lose a few games. And we got to continue to stay together and dig ourselves out of it.
Hopefully tomorrow it seems like maybe you can get a boost to that lineup if Brandon is able to play. Just what would that mean to be able to get him back, especially at this time of the way things are kind of going right now?
Well, it means a lot. It means a lot for us to be healthy, Brandon included. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Willie, can you talk a little bit about the second line in general, not just Jose? They were out there. I think three of them were out there to finish out the game in Jose, Billy, and Larry out there for you.
Well, we're down quite a few guys right now, so we have to continue to dive into our second unit, and our guys are more than capable. Larry is a veteran. Billy has come off an impressive summer, winning MVP, winning the championship, and Jose is Jose. He comes in and sparks our team pretty much every time he touches the floor. So we're comfortable with that group. We just gotta dig down and try to get a win here soon.
And this is the second time this year we've seen Billy be able to come in and make an impact in this particular matchup. What do you think he was able to do tonight? Just kind of offset some of the things Jokic does to you on offense.
Billy, he's physical, and he accepts the challenge to play against these guys. He plays against these guys in the Euro World Cups and in the summer, their summer basketball, summer play. So he's familiar with playing against Jokic, knows how to guard him, knows how to attack him, and we needed him tonight.
Coach, you talked after the Orlando game about reestablishing a defensive identity. Gave up only 100 points to Miami, only 99 points today. What do you like most about your team on that side of the floor?
Yeah, I think we're doing a great job defensively, and that's given us an opportunity to win games. Once again, we try to keep teams out of transition, but that, we have to take care of the ball a bit better. Rebounding the ball is important for us, contesting shots, all the things I thought we've done over the last couple games. We got to pick it up on the offensive side, and that's really just continuing to play with force and trust our teammates. We'll get there. It's still a long season ahead of us. We don't like losing and like where we are right now, but there's growth in this. Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, for all things Pelicans, you're now listening to the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all joining us for this late edition of the Pelican Postgame Report. As you can see, the Pelicans lose close one to Nuggets, 99-98. They're currently on a 5-game losing skid. January hasn't been kind to the Pelicans. I'm Big Q. We got my co-host DC in the place to be in this one, and you guys are in the place to be. Pelicans go down in this one, man. We got it to cover it. DC, welcome on into the stream, bro. How you doing tonight?
I'm a little down, man. Looking at the stories on Dyson Daniels. They're saying he went out on crutches and in a walking boot. I'm hearing Coach say he just got a twisted ankle. Seemed like a little bit more than that. But yeah, man, this is tough game. Pels definitely could have got this one, man. Didn't really like our last 2 shots with CJ kind of, I guess being the guy and taking the shots. Billy Herman Gomez looked open to me. I would have liked to see him get that last shot. Or even just kept going where we was going with a little more of Jose attacking him in the lane, because we did that so many times, man, and it was successful. But nonetheless, Pels get the L, man. This is very disappointing. On the back of some great news, sounds like Brandon Ingram should play tomorrow. So that's the one positive I guess we could take away from this. No moral victories, right, Big Q? But BI should be in the building tomorrow playing. And that'll mean a lot against Minnesota, who he's hitting game winners against before and usually plays very well. We're going to need him. With Ant-Man coming to town and no Dyson Daniels, man. It's rough. Really could have used Kyra tonight, but for whatever reason, he was in the G League. Don't know what to make of that. But the Pels, just as usual, these last maybe 12, 13 games, they just needed that oomph, that one little extra push to get them over the hump, and they didn't get it.
No, they didn't get it, DC. We were there once again. The Miami Heat, the second game of the series, the Pelicans had that one in hand. And, of course, tonight against the Nuggets, who I thought we should have been able to take this one here as well. But We just couldn't muster up enough. It's bad news on the Dyson Daniels thing. Seeing him go down means that they'll be further tested with their depth in terms of we should see a recycling back of KLJ, and we'll see what else they got up their sleeves. But you mentioned BI and Najee, which is a big part of the success formula for the Pelicans going forward. So let's get into the team statistics, family, on this one. Pelicans 38 of 85 for almost 45% shooting from the field, a miserable stinking 5 of 26 from downtown for 19.2%. The Nuggets 39 of 80 for almost 49%. They were 11 of 33 for 33.3%. Pelicans went to the foul line 17 of 20, shot 85%, versus the Nuggets 10 of 13 for 77%. Pelicans had 43 rebounds to 34. The Nuggets 14 of which were offensive. The Nuggets did circulate the ball a lot better than the Pelicans. They had 27 assists versus 18 by the Pelicans. 8-5 steals advantage Denver. 5-3 advantage to Denver McNuggets. And, of course, you look at the turnovers. 12 turnovers by Denver, 16 points off versus 16 turnovers by the Pelicans, 17 points off, 15-11 fast break points. Denver as well. Points in the paint, Pelicans did get that 62-48, but come up short, barely short. And, of course, we was one of those situations, DC, where Denver Nuggets had the lead as high as 19, and Pelicans did come and try to get toward the back end, make it close, but just couldn't get over the hump in that fourth quarter, which they put up 24 against the Nuggets 16. So let's talk team stats, bro.
Obviously, we're going to go to the three-point shooting, man. I mean, you can't shoot 19% from three-point line in today's game. And there was so many points in this game where I seen maybe somebody like Herb Jones at the three-point line, and you kick it to him wide open, and Herb, he didn't even want to shoot it. And you see a few other guys being tentative because they're not shooting that well from three. CJ missed like 8 of them, man. It's just a bad shooting night for us. Pels aren't exactly, I guess, assassins from the three-point line, but this is horrible because we've had maybe a couple of games like this, maybe 3 in this last 5-game stretch. So it's hard to win with that. The other stat, man, when you look at the assists, I mean, that's a tough out when you're playing Denver because Jokic is gonna count. He gonna get about 10 assists, 8 on a slow night for him. So you got 27 to 18. We didn't get any easy baskets, man. Usually when we get under, 20 assists, I say about 25. It ain't really looking good for us offensively. We look kind of stagnant with the system we run. Everybody knows the 0.5 system by now, so ball should be moving, and you don't really have a lot of creation ability from your guards right now. CJ is like the only one that can create his own shot. I mean, we can say Jose, the way he was playing tonight, but his other nights were maybe not so well offensively. So the assist numbers, that killed us in my opinion. And then you look at the turnovers, which don't look as bad right now, 16 to 12. But in the beginning of this game, man, we must have had like 11 turnovers. They were sitting on about 5 for the longest, which is how we got down. I think maybe 19 points. I think that was the most they led by. And you can't do that against the Nuggets. If we were more disciplined in the first half, man, I think we'd have been able to win this game. And it wouldn't even been as difficult going down the stretch if we still were able to play the same level of defense we saw them play in the second half.
All right. Let's move on to the individual statistics here. For the Pelicans, top scorer in the game was CJ McCollum, 20 points in 36 minutes, 9 of 22 from the field, 0 from 8, 0 out of 8 from downtown for CJ. 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds by him in the matchup. 14 from Valanciunas in 18 minutes. He had 4 personal fouls in the game, almost a double-double for him. 14 points, 9 rebounds for Big V. Trey Murphy, 33 minutes, 10 points. Yeah, you know how I feel, family. If you got to give us more than 10 points, Trey. And, of course, he was 3 of 10 shooting from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown. He finished with only 10 points. You got to score, bro. If you can give us 12, 13, maybe 14 points, Pelicans take it. So Trey, it just wasn't there. 10 points and 6 boards from him. 6 points from Herb Jones in 34 minutes of action with 6 boards. And of course, you look at Jackson Hayes in 23 minutes, 4 points, 4 boards, 3 assists from him off the bench. Larry Nance gave him 10 points and 8 rebounds in 23 minutes of action, 12 from Billy Hernan-Gomez and 6 rebounds, a couple of assists and a steal in 23 minutes of action. He did well. 17 from Jose Alvarado in 27 minutes, 8 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown, 17 points, 3 assists and a board from him. And Dyson Daniels was out there for 8 minutes. You seen him go down with the issue, had to be helped off the court. Hopefully he's fine in the matchup. And of course, you see Garrett Temple with 2 points as well. So Pelicans, man, 19% from downtown DC in this one, man. The Denver Nuggets had just enough Jokic. The Joker did play tonight. 25 points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds, a triple-double. He helped out. Jamal Murray was there doing his thing, 25 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals against the Pelicans. And those guys, pretty much those 2 guys, were a scoring mechanism for the Nuggets. They gave them 50 points out of the 99 points that they had. And, of course, you had Gordon through his 11 and a little defense that he played. And they had just enough to get past the Pelicans, 99-98 DC Talk individuals.
Yeah, I'm only going to go over 2 guys, man. To me, it was weird because it was actually 2 guys that didn't start, that pretty much took the cake for me. Billy Hernan-Gomez, obviously what he did, man, very productive minutes. Played with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, I guess wanted to make a statement because we all know he was mad about not playing. You heard some of the comments he made in the media pertaining to that. Said he was sad tonight too because he lost his little brother, Dyson Daniels. But he gave 12 points, 16 rebounds, and 2 assists tonight, man. And thought overall he was effective and efficient, decent defensively. He wasn't bad defensively tonight. Hit 2 big free throws for us to take the lead late in the game, and it was a big spark in that comeback we had, along with our man Jose Alvarado, bro. That's the other guy. Shout out to Larry Nance too, because he was all over the place doing his thing. But our starters, to me, just didn't have it tonight. But these guys off the bench, man, they brought that extra effort. And as you heard Coach say, Jose brought the spark, man. I mean, it was just magical what he was doing in the 4th quarter, scoring at will, just getting layups, looking like a quasi Tony Parker out there who he'd been training with. You see some of that paying off and some of those movements, how he circles the paint, man, goes in and goes out, keeps guys kind of confused. And he got 17 points out of the deal, man. Played decent defensively, obviously. Was poking a lot of balls, couldn't get his patented steals. His defense wasn't, I guess, to the level of what I expect from him, but he definitely picked up the slack offensively with a lot of timely buckets that we needed, man, and kept us in the game, man. And a big part of us getting back. Just everybody played with a lot more energy when Jose was out there commanding the offense, man. So shout out to them 2 guys, because without them and the effort that they brought tonight, ultimately I think it would have been a blowout.
All right, DC, and it would have been you're absolutely right. Billy Hernan-Gomez.
Well, he had 5 steals the other game.
Yeah, there you go. All right, but in this matchup, you look at what happened with a few players here, and of course, we got one of the main culprits on screen. How many minutes did he play, DC? You really want to go there? 19 minutes, bro.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead, roast him.
I ain't gonna roast the man, bro. He roasted himself. He cooking himself, bro. I mean, man, 19 minutes, 1 point.
When did he turn into Garrett Temple? Like, I mean,
he turned.
I know we wanted him to be
don't
more.
insult Garrett Temple like that. Don't do that. He's not Garrett Temple. Garrett Temple, no, cut that out. This guy making $11 million. He lost his cojones when Jose Alvarado beat him out. He slipped down, didn't fight to get back up there. And he has 0 confidence in his shot. 1 point tonight, 19 minutes from Devontae Graham, man. And then again, if he averages his 5 stinking points a game that he usually gives, or the Pelicans would have won tonight. So when you need him to get 5, he gives you 1. This is just in DC. You said that he's like, bro, he'll
Can't
never give
make it
you.
up, huh?
Yeah, you never can. He never gives you what you need when you need it to be given. I
Hold
mean,
up,
we need 5 points, but he gives you 1. If you get 5 tonight, the Pelicans win. He gives you 1. They lose by 1. You can't make it up. You can't make it up, brother. Anyway, let's move on, man. Let's keep it going, bro. Let's go to the next one. The next matchup tomorrow night in the Smoothie King Center is a back-to-back, and here we go. The Minnesota Timberwolves come a-calling in DC. Anthony Edwards, Gobert, and D. Russ, all them dudes, D'Angelo Russell, as all those guys are back in. They're going to be a little salty from the last matchup in late December when the Pelicans beat them 119-118. And D'Angelo said that Zion Williamson ran through his guy, pause, to get the ball and all this kind of stuff. But Karl Anthony Towns is still out in this matchup. Gobert is listed as day-to-day. Zion, of course, we know his status about him being reevaluated. And then they're saying, 2 weeks, DC, on top of that? B.I. possibly returning tomorrow. Najee Marshall's coming back. Dyson Daniels then goes on the list. So we get guys back. Guys go on the list. Boy, can we catch a freaking break. But anyway, Pelicans 26-22, falling fast out of the rankings. That now, let me put up the team. Here we go. For the family members say, Q, where the hell are they at in the Western Conference? They falling like a rock. The losers of 5 in a row. They are 2-8 out of the last 10 contests. Holding on, but Dallas Mavericks, man, and the Mavericks are 1 game behind of the Pelicans, and the Clippers are a game and a half behind of them. So they got to get they act together, and they got to get it together, lickety split.
Well,
but
we
anyway,
know the Clippers ain't gonna get their act together.
You never know, DC, in this crazy
They
league.
shut themselves on the Clippers.
All right. So anyway, with that being said, we got a whole host of games we lost. The Timberwolves coming to visit DC. This is their depth chart. I mean, where is it at? There it is. D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Anderson, Gobert is listed as day-to-day. Austin Rivers is nothing. Tarian Prince, they list him as out. You got Nas Reed always stepping up, giving you some good play there. So let's talk about this is a game that the Pelicans have to win, man. They got to get a win tomorrow night in the Smoothie King Center against the Minnesota Timberwolves to stop this hideous 5-game slide, man.
Most definitely. We got to get back to our roots, man. I think we already started. Over the last 2 games, I will say this. I see them getting back to the type of defense that we're used to seeing them play. It's just we can't score, but maybe over the last 15 games or so, we've been playing way below our standard defensively from what I was watching. So I think that Miami game that we had, we saw them forcing all those turnovers, and then you saw them kind of start doing that in the second half tonight. So we got to play that level of defense, right? Then we got to get back to scoring the basketball, man. We need to start these games off, especially a team like this. You want to constantly, I think, check JV's temperature, man. I think too many times we just forget about him. Then he winds up getting in foul trouble, and you really can't use him. Starting out games, man, get the ball down there to him. Force a double team on him, let him kick out, and you kind of create your offense off of that. Get him some good looks. I think that could help a lot. I don't know why we go away from that so much. Don't really utilize it as much as I would like without having Zion. And you're gonna possibly you should definitely have BI back. There wasn't no setbacks. He's been practicing. He said he playing. He said he was playing this game, or he said he was gonna try to play this game. But we know he ain't gonna play on no back-to-back, straight coming back like that. But he should show up tomorrow, as well as Najee. He's questionable, so looking for him to get upgraded to the brothers with the toes, both of them coming off toe injuries. So I think those 2 things, man, with the fact of I'm really anticipating the Pels being pissed off, man. They should be. Like, you know, lost to Miami. You come home in your own house. You lose tonight. Could have won this one, especially after you fought hard to get back. You had to cap that comeback off, and I'm gonna go out on a limb, man, and say they get the victory just through sheer determination and just guts. Like, you know, we got to drop our nuts at some point, man, and be that team that everybody knows we are who follow us closely, because they haven't been looking like that lately. I mean, superstars are out, rightfully so, but still, you got to make it happen. Even with your superstars out, you got to win some games. Nobody's expecting you to go undefeated or nothing, but you can't be 3-8, 3-7. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. I mean, you do that, we keep doing that. Ain't no playoffs, ain't no special season that we all envision for the Pels. So they got to make a stand somewhere. I'm putting my money on them making a stand against Minnesota on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it, man. You gotta step up, man. This is it. I mean, everything that you worked hard for the first several weeks is slipping away. You know, at some point, you know, they got to make a stand, man, here. And like I said, January, before we even got to January, I was looking over the schedule and I was like, man, this is going to be a difficult month because of all of the weird scheduling of how the games are going. A lot of games on the road, 5 straight games on the road, 1 home game, then 2 more on the road. And then you get the 3-game stand. You're thinking the answer to the Pelicans problem is, you know, they get the, a good game and where they're home, where they play really comfortable. You know, the last several games, they've given us a lot better effort, but not a complete effort. And I think that's some of the things we're missing. Like some of these games, we could talk about them playing a little bit better defense or whatever, but really, some guys just need to score more. I mean, that's when it really comes down to it. Like, not so much talking about CJ or Valanciunas, but, you know, in 2 things, and I'm not putting it totally on them, but Trey Murphy got to score more than 10 points in 30-something minutes of action. I've said this before. When you play that much time, you have to give us more than 10, and you know both our top scorers are missing. You got to give more than 10 points, okay? And then, of course, off the bench, where we see guys like Billy Hernangomez and Jose Alvarado showing their ass, you got to look at guys like Graham, who gets 19 minutes of action and only gives you 1 point, and you lose by 1. You know, that can't go. So at some point, you know, like the game with Miami and, you know, some of these other guys, they have to step up, and really people pinpoint Graham because of the money. I mean, he's not a young player. Like you can say, okay, well, Trey Murphy's still trying to figure it out because, you know, he's a couple years in the league. He's still a babe in many respects. He still has to figure it out. But you can't say that about Graham, who's a veteran who got a pretty decent contract from the Pelicans at first as a starter, and then he went to the bench where you think he'll perform better against backups, and he's regressed. So, you know, you averaging 5, you give me 1 tonight. I just want this guy to get the hell out of here, to be honest with you. But for right now, we just need more production. We need more scoring from some of these guys that have their natural ability. Is not defense, it's offense. Trey Murphy, he'll be gifted offensively. He'll work all he can on his defense. He'll improve there, but really he'll be known by his offense. Same with Graham. These are offensively supposed to be gifted players. We know they got to bring it when the nights when we don't have other top guns, man. These guys have to bring scoring production. We're not getting that. So especially on nights like tonight.
Right, man. It's mind-boggling too, and I guess super upsetting because we know that they're capable. Same reason why we always getting on a guy like Devontae Graham. Like, you've seen what he can do. We've seen what this team can do. I don't think this is a good representation of what we have. I still feel the Pels are one of the deeper teams in the league, you know, if not the deepest when healthy. Or when you're not healthy, you're still supposed to be able to get wins off of that, right? That's the whole point of being deep. So
Right.
we're not really exhibiting that ability that we know that they have. And some of it is just bonehead mistakes. Some of it is just being undisciplined. We like to also, you know, mention the rotations. All of us want Kyra to play, Vontae shouldn't get so many minutes, and some people wanted Jax to play, and some people will say, why is Jax out there? Billy should be playing. Whatever that is, we need to figure it out. It's one of the problems of having a lot of talented guys, and we're just so inconsistent, but with injuries, inconsistency does come. So I think some of that is normal, but to the level that we're at right now, as in this month in January, this has been horrible. This has been the worst month of the season for us.
Mhm.
And we cannot continue going on like this. And ironically, it happens to happen at one of the tougher parts of the schedule for us. So we'll see. BI get to go ahead and make his claim for the guy that we all know he is. Hopefully this is a good time that he can take advantage of this, of us needing him, and be able to show other people in the NBA that aren't the players who always question what he is or say he don't play enough or he's always hurt. I think he can quiet a lot right now by getting us some victories, man, because he's that good with what we already have. Somebody like BI think, takes a lot of these losses away. Obviously, I don't think we would have still won every game out of this last 12 or whatever or this last 5. We might have lost some, but he definitely gives you a chance to win every night. And game like tonight, something as simple as losing Dyson Daniels, man, can be, the difference between winning and losing. Because if we had Dyson Daniels, he didn't get hurt. I believe the Pels win this game. It's that simple. They just needed something extra. So you need that little extra oomph, and I think we're gonna get a big extra oomph with Bi coming back and Najee Marshall. So we can see what that looks like, and maybe in another 2 or 3 games we'll be feeling totally different about our Pels.
Yeah, some of the family members. Shout out to you, Stephanie, and the rest of the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the chat. Much love to the fam.
Shout
Please
out
feel
Parkers.
free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribing, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Much love to the fam. I hear you, Nola, baby KC saying about Graham. Calling himself a hooper. Yeah, man.
Wait, what?
People call it in a lot of things. He says,
Who
Big
called
Q.
him a hooper? What you talking about?
He said, how you call yourself a hoop player or basketball player? He's so weak sauce. What's Graham doing in practice to keep teasing our coaches about potential shit? Shut the front door on this dude. Yeah, I think we talked about that. That they're trying to play him the trailer.
What he do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is. Go ahead, DC. Play the
He'll
trailer.
hit 3 or 4 super difficult shots, man. Like they see him do some amazing stuff in practice. You see him like the shot clock runs down, man. We throw Devontae Graham the ball, he gonna get a shot of it. So just imagine him doing that in practice, and they going in.
He don't look comfortable shooting the ball in this month. That's for certain. He don't want none of that smoke.
The light's bright right now, man.
Yes.
If you notice, when we all liked Devontae Graham, Zion was healthy, Bi was healthy. He didn't have a lot of pressure.
Right.
He looked really good in that role. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of people who've been begging for him to get traded, all that shit was quiet. The dude was shooting like 45% from 3.
Yeah, because the big guns took the pressure off of him, bro.
Exactly. So to me, it's just when it's too much, he's just not that guy, man. He's not that guy.
Not in the Pelican uniform. I mean, when he was in Charlotte, he had the confidence of a shooter. He was doing his thing. Here, I mean, he just evaporated.
Well, I can make another example of that too.
System.
Even in Charlotte, it's no pressure. Nobody expects Charlotte to win anything.
Yeah, the contract brought pressure, and he caved, man.
There's no pressure, man. Not just the contract. I mean, he's playing for his minutes. So you don't do well, you out. He got the money, but you still playing for your NBA life. And if you love basketball, man, you want to be out there. Devontae Graham seems to me like he loves ball because as hard as we are on him,
hard on himself.
He is hard on himself with his play, but he does make a lot of good basketball plays. He's been way better defensively. I would be wrong to not acknowledge that. It's just as far as him shooting and handling this business like you're supposed to on that level, it's just been non-existent, man. It's really disappointing. But hopefully now with Dice being hurt, I think this can be an example to be a blessing in disguise. It's either that or maybe Willie was going to do this anyway, as I've alluded to several times, of giving Kyra some burn after the All-Star break. I think just his speed and his excitement to be out there, man, it's just gonna give you more than Devontae Graham. And plus maybe we trade him. So we don't know how that looks. But even with or without Devontae, everybody's rightfully, I guess, upset at his minutes, but I don't think him and him alone is the reason we lose in these games. So it still gets back to the team, man, and handling their business, doing what they're supposed to do. So sometimes we just get guess a little lackadaisical. We just got low energy, and it's almost like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. That's the right name. I ain't say that.
Well, I mean, this is true. I mean, this is when it comes down to you're not playing full games. Pelicans admit they'll lose the first 3 quarters and try to hustle the 4th quarter to get the game from behind. I mean, solid production, solid play, and playing hard from the start to the finish of the game. That's what Willie been preaching when he gets into these press conferences. We got the pressers, the pregame pressers before it starts. It's the same message in different waves that he'll deliver it so that it doesn't get stale. But it's the same thing. You have to play. You got to play hard and determined every night. And it's the intensity of which you play. If you have more intensity and you play harder than the team that you're playing against, regardless of whatever the circumstances is, you're going to end up winning the game. Some of these games that I watched from the Pelicans is that they didn't have as much as that intensity and ferocity and determination to win these games as their adversaries. Tonight would have been a good game in which we knew what Joker got in there. The pregame had him like it was, said that he was going to play. I did a preview stream. It looked like he wasn't going to play. He played in this game, and he had a triple-double against the Pelicans, but it was basically him and Murray with 20-something odd point games. And really, this should have been a game for the Pelicans at home. But in the end, people point at Graham, and they point at what you see from Graham is because it's the obvious. And we don't have to delve into the team dynamic. You're absolutely right on that. But if you're a player and you're averaging 5 points a game, you play 19 minutes, and I know you took, 3 or 4 shots, I think it was. I forgot how many shots he took. 3 shots. And really, even if Graham has these shots, he's not going to take them. I've seen times when Graham passed those shots up because if he misses those shots, boy, it's just going to be hardcore on him. He's going to feel every miss that you – he don't want none of that smoke.
I disagree with that, Big
Man, that boy don't want none of that smoke. That's a shootout there, man. He'll score.
It can't get worse. It can't get any worse.
Dude, you tripping.
It cannot, man. It's so bad.
This man had 1 point tonight, bro.
Is trying to reassure us during the game about Devontae Graham.
Man, get out
so
of here.
So it's like,
man.
it's obvious all the people are talking about it can't get no worse, bro.
Yes, it can get worse.
How? They clamoring for him to get traded. They want him to get benched and have all his minutes taken away. How much worse can it get?
That he actually gets benched and have his minutes taken away from him. Yes, it could get worse than him. He's still playing minutes.
He's not gonna get benched and have his minutes taken away for shooting.
Shoot his ass down. Sit him down. We're getting close to the trade deadline in February. Let's move on from Graham because I don't want to depress the nation, man. Stephanie asks a great question. She says, do y'all think this team will get healthy at all this year? I absolutely do think that they'll get healthy. I mean, BI working his way back. You got Najee coming back as well. And in a couple of weeks, they'll look at Zion. So, yeah, like I said, most of this team, you won't see this until after the All-Star break. I've said you won't see them, all running because that's when it all will start mattering again. Let's just put it like this. And it's my take. January was the worst month of basketball that you're going to see from the Pelicans all season long. And it hit in a tough stretch of the schedule with the most injuries impounding us. You have Najee missing. He's one of our key reserves. BI and Zion are missing. Herb Jones was in and out of the thing before he got going on. And now we're missing Dyson Daniels here. And then certain players, that role players, didn't bring it every night. We had some games when guys were playing good defense, but their offense wasn't there. Like you see Larry Nance, who was still kind of working himself back from that shoulder situation. He didn't quite look right. You started to see him look normal again. But he was out there hustling and playing defense, but he wasn't giving you the offense. And the same with Jose Alvarado. Jose had games when he was playing defense out there, but his numbers wasn't up like you would see Jose, like he had 17 a night or 15 or 12. His numbers wasn't there some nights. Or like you see Trey Murphy play 25, 30-something odd minutes, give you 16 or 18 points versus what he gave you tonight, 10 points. So it kind of fluctuates, and I think this is the rough stretch of the schedule, the toughest portion of the schedule with all the things I've said. So I think eventually I don't think you'll see the Pelicans in this way again for the rest of the season, because in February, it's a sharp month. I got the schedule up for a reason. Like the last 4 games of January it's home at Minnesota, home against Washington. Then they go on the road January the 29th against Milwaukee. The 31st, they got Denver, and then that's it. Well, actually, those 4 games. Then February starts, and then you see them at Dallas. They come home for the Lakers in Sacramento, Atlanta. Then you get guys back. You'll have BI back several games into it. He should kind of knock the rust off. Najee will be there, so you'll see a better team. You'll see one of our starters or stars come back to kind of carry that load. So I think you'll see a better month of basketball in February. And of course, the trade deadline is happening in February, where you see the Pelicans should be in the mix of getting guys out of there. We should see KLJ come in here with the Dyson Daniels down, which means that KLJ will get an opportunity. He's explosive. He can get in there and make some plays happen. So I think you'll see a better, more responsive offensive and defensive team in the month of February, along with the trade and everything like that. So I think it's just a difficult month of basketball. And we knew it when we was going over it, how the schedule fell, is that we got hit with all the injuries. And then, man, our depth got really tested in the month. And, we got to win, no doubt about it. We got to finish out as strong as we can in this month to kind of stabilize ourselves from falling any further in the Western Conference. DC, go ahead and go ahead and drop some science on that, bro, before we get ready to get on out. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, I think the Pels definitely get healthy. And if you look at all of the players that got hurt, it's like, at what point does the tide change? I mean, it'll be ridiculous to think it's just going to continue to go on all season. I mean, everybody catches a break at some point, right? So we've already weathered the storm, in my opinion, as far as going through all of these injuries. We got young players, so it ain't like if we had guys that were older, maybe I feel a little different. People bodies start breaking down and all of that. I don't think that's the situation with us. You got guys that's getting hurt. We don't have the most durable guys as far as our 2 superstars in the whole league. So they're gonna deal with missing some games here, some games there. That's all already thought to be a natural part of it, but you never anticipated, I don't think, both of them missing extended amounts of time at the same time. Because I think the Pels can be very good with just Zion or just BI. But to lose both of them for an extended period is asking a bit much. And the way the team's constructed is pretty much set up to be able to play around BI or to play around Zion. So we kind of have a combination of guys that play well with both of them. And I think they will get healthy. And I'm actually encouraged by that, because the fact of when they'll get healthy will be on the back end of the season. And then you can finally get your starting lineup. I mean, come on, we're not going to have a starting lineup that only played 10 games together for the whole damn season. It's not going to happen. These guys are going to get healthy. They're going to get to play together. And I think they're going to get better and actually become a scary team that people don't want to face on the back end of the season. And we can ride that wave into the playoffs. So it's just like football in the sense of we all see teams that go through their bumps and bruises, their ups and downs at the beginning of the season. And then they kind of get things together towards the end of the season, get real hot, and they ride that shit all the way into a Super Bowl. And football, basketball, is pretty similar, except you're not just gonna get to the finals just on the hot hand. You gotta actually have the talent. You gotta have the superstar players because it's a 7-game series. But I think we're gonna be ready when the playoffs come. And that's the main point. And then the other fact of it, which is also something that you can be happy about, when all of these guys do get healthy, right? And we're back to being the deep team that we are. Well, guess what? All your young guys got experience because they all had to play. A guy like Dyson Daniels, if he's able to return, I don't know how serious his injury is. He's in a walking boot and crutches, so hopefully he's able to come back at some point during the season. But a guy like Dyson Daniels, all the experience he gained, being out there in a tougher matchup, the game gets easier when you're playing with Zion and BI. Like for Trey Murphy, look what Najee was doing. So when BI and Zion come back, the game is easier for them guys, man. And they already had it going against their toughest opponents when they were actually being, guarded a little differently or treated more as an option. So these things, yeah, CJ too. Creative minds. I know you say he hurt us, but CJ will be a lot better with Zion and BI, especially the more minutes that they play together. So these guys will get healthy. I think it's gonna come at the right time, and we'll be able to shift the narrative on the season because right now we got so used to winning and taking all these losses in a row can be a little depressing because you're just not used to this year. Pels have been a good team, and they're not a good team at this moment tonight. But tomorrow, all of that can change. With BI coming back, I think that's enough to energize them, to get our core guys to play better, our role players. And I think BI will have a decent night. Probably not going to do too much. I'm sure he'll be a little rusty. But him being out there, I think will speak volumes and boost the guys up and lead to a lot of them having better games as well. So that's the beginning of getting healthy. You get one of your best guys back, and I think that'll continue to happen, man. And as the game gets easier and we get easier victories, because that's really the key. We got to scratch, claw, and fight for a lot of our wins. Even when we were winning earlier, we need to get easier wins, start dominating some teams so we can get some rest during these games. I mean, how many games did BI and Zion just get to sit out at the end because the games were won? We're not getting a lot of games like that, and we're a good enough team to be able to have some games like that where you can rest your star players and you don't have to worry about bringing them back in.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it all folds, man. If that's indeed the case, he plays. We'll see what kind of minute restriction he's under. It'll take him a few games for him to get back to where he belongs. A handful of games to get back to where he belongs. But they got the Minnesota squad coming up. Pelicans need a win against Minnesota, no doubt about it, man. They need this win. They need a win, seriously, against this team moving forward. As you can see, Minnesota's next. Then Washington is on Saturday. Then Sunday, right after that, they travel to Milwaukee to take on Giannis and Drew and all the rest of them guys up there. And they just then, of course, close out the month at Denver. So this has been a rough, tough month for the Pelicans, man. But in the end, it either make them stronger, whatever kill you don't make it stronger. It has to be the prevailing thought process for the Pelicans that a lot of the bench guys got a lot of minutes, and that should help as our starters kind of trickle back to the team over the next couple of months. So we'll see how it all folds, man. Real rough month, but just the good news is that it's almost over. We need a win. So with that being said, we're going to end on that. Please feel free, family, if you hadn't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the show on your social media feed. It helps us out. Pelicans go down in this one 99-98. We'll be back tomorrow for the recap of the Minnesota matchup. And then we'll see how it all folds, but it should be a win. Most certainly it's a state of urgency for the Pelicans. They have to beat Minnesota in the Smoothie King Center and stop this horrible 5-game slide, man. That will do them a world of good to know how it feels to win again. So with that being said, we're going to get on that. We appreciate you guys for chiming in on the Pelican post-game report tonight. Feel free to hit the description section below, the Pel Shop. Get you some merch there. Helps out the platform. DC, as always, my friend, will holler at you on the next one. And the rest of the family, appreciate y'all, man, for being in here. And keep your heads up. Go Pels. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.